Namaste, my name is Tim Halloran. I am an astrologer, and you can get in contact with me at www.rasa-lila where I am and my partner, who is a Reiki master, are both available for appointment. First of all, I'd like to start off by apologizing. Not only is this a day late, but I'm very low on energy right now, so I apologize about that. Must have some kind of lung infection or something for the last week. Been moving to a new place and got sick on the first day of the move, so it's been a bit of a rough week. But the good news is I live just a block away now from this really huge and beautiful park. So sometimes really wonderful changes come at a bit of a cost. And I'm going to be talking more about that because that seems to be a major thing going on in the world these days. But there is a lot of wonderful things happening this week. It truly is an awesome, awesome week. And of course, we got the summer solstice this Friday and the supermoon 2 days later over the weekend. So we've got a beautiful, sun-filled week ahead of us. So let's talk a little bit of astrology, and then I'll talk about the significance of what's going on. So tomorrow we've got the sun coming and conjuncting Jupiter, which is amazing. Jupiter is the planet that brings us good things, teaches us, causes expansion. Usually a very nice, benevolent planet. Having the sun conjuncted tomorrow, Wednesday, the 19th, of course, it's going to be amazing because that's going to be our sun. That's our ego, our being is going to be feeling this very warm and benevolent and also teaching guru tomorrow. So it might be a time of, getting in contact with new people, making new friends, and learning new things that are really going to teach us and expand us and set us in our new way. Another huge thing that's going on is this Jupiter, which has been in Gemini for the last 12 years, is finally shifting into Cancer by next week. But it's in the final degrees of Gemini right now. This has a lot to do with the theme of the week as well, which is, as I've been talking about, everything shifting into water, which is the return of the divine feminine after many years of the corrupted and distorted patriarchy, which has been in power for the last 6,400 years. Now, this summer solstice is a really big deal. In many ancient traditions, the summer solstice was the best day of the year, of course, because in the northern hemisphere we have more light than any other day of the year. I do apologize if it's a little windy here. But anyways, on December 21st, there was a whole lot of hype in the spiritual community. There was a lot of talk about, all the governments are going to change, all the people are going to rise up, all the information is going to come out, and everything's going to happen overnight, of course. And this is not how things work in the universe, as we learned. That's because the universe is just that. It's a verse in a symphony. And this is a dance. This is a musical. Things flow here and there. Do not change like that overnight. It's a much more beautiful and delicate performance that is going on in the sound of the spheres and the universe itself. So a lot of what we expected to happen overnight on December 21st, the rising of the people, the changing of the government, information getting leaked. Well, December 21st was the planting of a seed, and that was when the sun was at the bottom hemisphere, and it was the time of least amount of light, right? This is Christ dying and going to hell. It was not an easy time for a lot of people, but now the sun has risen. And this Friday, the 21st, the sun will be at its highest point, and we will be receiving the most amount of light. And that seed that was planted on December 21st, that little bud, that little creeper is going to poke its head out from underneath the ground. And a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about for years, a lot of us, we're seeing it now, aren't we? And this is a lot of what I'm going to be talking about right now is a lot of good changes come with a little bit of a cost. So, we've got the sun moving into Cancer on the day of the solstice. This is the divine feminine. I've been talking a lot about the divine feminine. This is very, very important and very, very good. Okay, so what's going on in the world? We can talk astrology all the time, but what's actually happening? Well, first of all, if you're watching the mainstream news, you don't know. But look what's happening in Brazil. Look what's happening in Turkey. Look what's happening with Edward Snowden and this leak of information happening in the U.S. government. What's going on? Everything's changing. This new moon, which is happening on the 23rd, it's a full moon in Capricorn. It's going to be conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. We're talking about the Cancer-Capricorn polarity right here. Cancer is the divine feminine. Cancer is where we're going. Jupiter's moving into Cancer. The Sun's moving into Cancer. Mercury and Venus is already in Cancer. They're going to be conjunct on the day of the solstice. Venus and Mercury conjunct is creative channels are open. But everything's moving into Cancer, and then we've got this full moon, and it's a supermoon. So the moon is as close as it gets to the Earth on the 23rd. A lot of big things going on. There's this polarity, and it's between the divine feminine and the patriarchy, Capricorn. We've got Pluto in Capricorn. It's going to be there for decades. Pluto in Capricorn is the transformation of the establishment, of the patriarchy, of the government, of the systems, of the money, of the corporations. That is getting transformed, and it's opposing all this stuff in Cancer, which is the blossoming and the return of the divine feminine. The nurturing, caring, loving, compassionate force is returning. So I mentioned Turkey and Brazil. Have you seen these images of these women getting pepper sprayed in the face? That's what I think about of the time right now. Is like, can you think of a better image to represent the patriarchy right now? This guy is all geared up. He's got this huge helmet on, and he's just unloading it on this poor, innocent, unprotected woman. This is the state of the world right now, and we are learning about it. It's about to change. Because, these guys in the uniforms, they're not going to win. If anything, these guys in the uniform, they better really be careful, because all I got to say is they're like the male praying mantises that are about to get their heads bit off. These women getting sprayed in the face, they're going to win, because they're letting the world know right now, this isn't okay. The patriarchy is not okay. We're destroying Mother Nature. We're not compassionate for one another. When the world is ruled by corporations, it's ruled by money, it's ruled by greed. We don't give a crap about each other. We don't give a crap about other countries. We don't give a crap about the world. And that's all changing right now, isn't it? We are awakening our own inner feminine, which is the awakening of our interconnectivity. I talked about the universe being a symphony. Even music is quite feminine in essence. In Hinduism, music is ruled by the goddess Saraswati. So it is feminine, and we have to reconnect with nature in order to understand our relationship with the macrocosm, our relationship with the microcosm. Why should we care about the world? Why should we not be emptying all the wastes into the planet? Why should we not be only interested in our own monetary development? Because we're hurting ourselves. And that's what's really being felt in Turkey and Brazil right now, is we can feel those people suffer. We are being exposed to, and we are witnessing the perversion of the masculine force. What am I talking about? Well, another thing that's going on right now is Mars is square to Chiron. Mars is the masculine, and Chiron is the pain. It's the wounded healer. We're feeling hurt right now, and Mars is hurting us. The police brutality is real, and it's painful, and people are in serious need of help right now. Masculinity at its highest octave, when it is aligned with the higher truth, men protect the women and the children. Women and children first. That is what men are supposed to do. They are the protectors of the household. And when masculinity gets perverted, we see images like this. When it is the opposite of protecting the women and the children. Now it is men manipulating the women and the children, not protecting them, hurting them. Men are abusing their power and taking it up on the rest of the world. Very powerful time. Jupiter's moving out of Gemini into Cancer, so it's been 12 years in Gemini. And, when Jupiter is in Gemini, it's detrimented. So it's as far away from its house in Sagittarius as it gets. It's not comfortable in Gemini. So it's not even, it hasn't even been the most charitable Jupiter within the last 12 years, but it has been an intelligent Jupiter. It has brought us technology such as the internet, and Jupiter has to do with our expansion. So the last 12 years, been a lot of expansion in technology and those kind of things. But now it's moving into Cancer, where it's going to be exalted. It's not going to be about technology anymore. It's going to be about awakening human compassion. If you want to be ahead of the game, if you want to be advanced, if you want to be on the next step, it's going to be about awakening your divine feminine, your caring, nurturing abilities. That is where we are going, and that's where the gold's going to be, Jupiter being in Cancer. That is where all the growth is going to be happening. We are going to be expanding in the area of compassion, expanding in the area of charity, expanding in the area of empathy. But the real spiritual gurus for this next age are going to be the ones who are caring, who are compassionate, don't care about themselves. They don't want to be center stage. They want to help you. I'm talking about the Ammas, the people going around hugging everybody, giving charity to everybody. These are going to be our future teachers. These are going to be our gurus, and this is going to be our inner guru as well. That voice in ourselves, which is saying, what can I do to help other people? What can I do to care for these people suffering in these other countries? They seem so far away and distant. Well, just wait. It's not going to be so far away and distant because we're talking about the whole human race right now undergoing these changes. It's a beautiful time. These changes are very wonderful, but wonderful changes come with a bit of a cost. So I wish you the best this week. You can get in touch with us at the link below. I wish you utmost magical, energy-filled summer, solstice, and super full moon weekend. Namaste.